Well, Elon Musk does not have the power to fire people. The President of the United States is Donald Trump, and the agency heads are the one who manage each of their departments. So they've got the decision. That's what Elon Musk has told me time and time again. And the President of the United States was elected, all right, by the American people to basically rein in government, rein in this waste, bring some accountability, some transparency, some common sense to government. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing.
Right, but I think the question is how Musk and DOGE have been recommending these cuts. For example, we've seen...
Señores, lo que está ocurriendo dentro del movimiento MAGA en estos momentos es simplemente caos. No solo hay conflictos dentro del círculo cercano de Donald Trump. Lo vemos en su administración. Lo vemos entre sus aliados. Lo vemos en los republicanos en el Congreso, que muchos, por cierto, están furiosos con él. La razón de todo esto, su desastrosa política económica, una que ha afectado directamente a sus propios votantes. Pero bueno, eso no es todo, porque también están molestos con Elon Musk. Todo por quitarle miles de millones de dólares a sus distritos al terminar desmantelando programas fundamentales para el país. Sean bienvenidos a Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Amigos, hoy veremos cómo el títere de Trump, el títere MAGA, ha perdido la cabeza, se ha desmoronado en vivo, cuando termina enfrentando un escándalo de Trump. Así que los invito a que se queden hasta el final de este video porque veremos detalles pero muy interesantes. Bueno amigos, quiero empezar con esto. Lo más irónico, ¿no?, de todo este tema es ver cómo intentan encubrirlo. Por ejemplo, Donald Trump intentó calmar las aguas asegurando que Elon Musk y Marco Rubio tienen una relación increíble. Algo que por supuesto no hay evidencia que sea cierto. Y al contrario, sí hay evidencia de que existe una tensión. Pero los republicanos han saltado rápidamente a defender la narrativa de Trump, tratando de tapar el desastre. Uno de los principales defensores de esta mentira, uno de los títeres más clásicos del trumpismo, es Rick Scott, quien recientemente en una entrevista intentó desviar la atención. Y cuando lo confrontaron con la realidad, señores, se quedó sin argumentos. Vamos a ver este clip.
Joining us now, Republican Senator who is close to both the President and Elon Musk, Senator Rick Scott of Florida. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So it's not just Rubio and Duffy, as you know better than I. There are a lot of Republicans on Capitol Hill behind the scenes, uneasy with how Elon Musk has been cutting the workforce. Not the goal of cutting out waste, fraud, and abuse, but how he's been doing it. You organized a meeting between Musk and Senate Republicans to help smooth ruffled feathers, improve communications. I do keep seeing elected officials publicly posting about programs or agencies in their home districts or states being targeted by DOGE, and they plead with Musk to save them. Here's Congressman Tom Cole showing how he, by going to Musk, saved jobs in his district, in the National Weather Service and other federal offices in Oklahoma. Are you comfortable with Republican elected officials basically going to beg the richest man in the world, an unelected, un-Senate confirmed person, to have to save American jobs? Is that okay with you?
Well, I talked to Elon Musk quite a bit about what he's doing, and he's doing what I did when I became governor of Florida. You look at every program. So here's what he said. He is looking at every program he can. He's given information to agency heads, and they're making a decision how to go forward. But let me tell you, Americans are fed up. $600,000 for menstrual study cycle, or study menstrual cycles of transgender men, $300 million for a cement manufacturer in Gaza. I mean, $800,000 for gardening in El Salvador. Let me tell you, I just went through the campaign trail. People are fed up with wasteful government spending. And we've had a 2% increase in population in 5 years and a 53% increase in spending. We will not get interest rates down. We will not get inflation under control until we balance the budget. That's what we have to do. And Elon Musk is part of the process of balancing the budget.
So I don't doubt that people are fed up with wasteful government spending. I just don't think that they think air traffic controllers are wasteful government spending. According to the Times, Transportation Secretary Duffy accused Musk of trying to fire air traffic controllers even after multiple deadly plane crashes and close calls. If the Secretary of Transportation is worried that Musk is not doing this in a constructive and wise manner, why should the American people be convinced of it?
Well, Elon Musk does not have the power to fire people. The President of the United States is Donald Trump, and the agency heads are the one who manage each of their departments. So they've got the decision. That's what Elon Musk has told me time and time again. And the President of the United States was elected, all right, by the American people to basically rein in government, rein in this waste, bring some accountability, some transparency, some common sense to government. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing.
Right, but I think the question is how Musk and DOGE have been recommending these cuts. For example, we've seen experts in nuclear weapons fired, then rehired. We've seen air traffic controllers, at least attempts to fire them. Sean Duffy says he stopped that from happening. We've seen people at the Veterans Crisis Line fired, then rehired. We've seen people investigating pandemics, infectious diseases, fired, then rehired. Beyond that, as Musk takes his chainsaw to the government, as you know, about 30% of our federal workforce in the United States, about 30% are veterans, and a majority of that 30% are disabled veterans. Meanwhile, the VA is also preparing to slash up to 70,000 VA jobs, providing critical services to veterans. You're a veteran. You served honorably in the Navy. Are you concerned about that?
Well, step one is I very much appreciate anybody that served. My dad did all 4 combat jumps with the 82nd Airborne in the Second World War. I had the opportunity to serve in the Navy. I'm very appreciative. When I became governor of Florida, unemployment of veterans was way higher than our unemployment. And we worked every day to make sure we got that below our unemployment rate. And we did. It took us about a year or so. So here's what we have to do. We have to rein in the size of government, right? All right, and then we have to make sure everybody can get a job. Now, you do that by reducing regulation. You do that by streamlining the permitting process. You do that by growing the private sector, not growing the size of government in Washington. The government in Washington is way too big. It's causing our inflation. It's causing interest rates to be high. And when Donald Trump took office, I can just tell you, my experience is there was no accountability in government and there was no transparency. That's what Elon Musk, that's where agency is. That's what Donald Trump is trying to bring to the table. And they're going to do it. They're going to figure this out. I'm very optimistic that we can get this done and balance a budget. Donald Trump has promised to balance a budget. I did it as governor of Florida. This is all doable. Now, do some people not like accountability? Sure. Do some people not like transparency? Sure. I mean, they just want to have a job. But get back to work. This idea that you don't have to go to the office. I mean, you know, if you work in a grocery store, you have to go to the office. I mean, all these other people go in the office. Federal workers have to get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
The American public is fed up, Jake. They're tired of this. There's no common sense. There's no accountability. They're tired. I just went through a campaign trail. Nobody said, I'm so excited about our federal government. Nobody.
Of course not. But I guess my question is, are you confident that the way that these cuts have been taking place have been strategic, have been wise, have been careful? How can you look at experts in nuclear weapons being fired, then rehired, and think, oh, this process is working exactly as it should be?
I'm a business guy. Jake, you do your best you can every day. What they're trying to do is rein in government, right, every day. Are they going to be perfect? No. No one's perfect. When they make a mistake, are they going to fix it? Yeah. We have a big problem. We have $36.5 trillion worth of debt. We have got to be very aggressive at figuring out how to do this. So I'm very comfortable that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, our agency heads, they're going to do the best they can. And if they make a mistake, they will fix their mistake. These are smart people. They're willing to work really hard to do the right thing.
So you know better than I, because you actually tried to prompt a conversation about this, and you got hammered by Democrats and kind of cut loose by Republicans. But the money isn't really even in the salaries of VA workers. The money is in the so-called entitlement programs, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. You tried to start a conversation on this a few years ago, and then, you know, I can certainly understand why you might have backed off a little, because nobody was standing with you. But if that's really the goal, to eliminate the deficit and the debt, why the focus on cutting 70,000 jobs from the VA, where they are desperately needed to help veterans? Why not go after where the money actually is?
Jake, you can balance the budget and preserve all the benefits of Medicare, all the benefits of Social Security. You can do that. You don't have, I don't believe in cutting them. I actually have a bill to protect them. Not one Democrat will get on it. What's happened is all these other programs have skyrocketed in size. It looks like we'll have revenues about $5.5 trillion, right? You can take today's spending for Medicare, today's spending for Social Security, right? Get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse, and then look at the other programs, and you can balance the budget without cutting any benefits, which you shouldn't, of Medicare or Social Security. This is all doable, but guess what you have to do? You have to do what you do. You probably look at your credit card statement every month. Say, well, maybe I shouldn't spend that, or, oh, was that actually a proper payment? We spend $250 billion of payments to people in this country every year that weren't entitled to it. And this isn't getting solved. What we're going to solve this problem. We're going to balance the budget. We have to balance the budget if you care about poor families in this country that are struggling with this inflation and interest rates.
Let me ask you about tariffs. In the last month, President Trump announced 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Then he delayed them. Then he allowed them to go into effect. Then he paused tariffs on caps and goods covered by the USMCA, NAFTA II, only to then turn around and threaten new tariffs on Canadian lumber and dairy. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, which is conservative, says Trump is, quote, treating the North American economy as a personal plaything as markets gyrate with each presidential whim, unquote. And we have seen the effect on the stock market. Is the Wall Street Journal wrong? Is there any coherent strategy here, or is the president just making it up as he goes along?
No, there's a coherent strategy. Stop taking advantage of American workers. Stop sending fentanyl across our border. I mean, it's pretty simple. 78,000 people died of fentanyl last year that came across our borders. That needs to stop. Canada and Mexico can do that. And that's number one. Number two is, if you want to have a free trade agreement with America, then open up and treat our companies the same as you treat you. We allow you to come in and sell ours. Mexico right now is dumping in our state. It's hurting our tomato growers, our blueberry growers, our tomato growers, our strawberry growers, and they are not complying with the existing law. They're doing it month after month after month. So I think Donald Trump is doing what he should. We've got to make this a fair system for the American worker.
Quickly, if you could, sir, President Trump has acknowledged that there's going to be a little disturbance due to his economic policies. How bad is this disturbance going to be, and how long is it going to last?
Well, first off, Donald Trump walked in with a crappy economy. The number of full-time jobs have been dropping in almost the entire Biden administration. This is a lot of work. Now, manufacturing jobs are coming back. That had not been happening under Biden. That's a big deal. The number one thing is we got to get American manufacturing back into this country. So I'm very optimistic that we're going to get this done. Now, is it work to balance the budget? Yeah, it's work. All right. We're going to stop wasting money. So people are going to go build. We're going to go start building the private sector again and stop growing the public sector.
Right,
that's going to cause some people have to change jobs.
Your constituents that are living paycheck to paycheck. How long is this disturbance going to last?
Well, the disturbance is the 20% inflation under Biden, the fact there's no full-time jobs. So it's already changing. We're already adding full-time jobs. We've already added 10,000 manufacturing jobs just last month. I'm very optimistic it's going to happen very quickly.
Okay. I mean, inflation was high, but it was not 20%.
Ahora bien, hablemos un poco de Rick Scott. Primero que nada, amigos, este tipo no es ningún santo. Tienen que entender esto de entrada. Estamos hablando de alguien que ha robado millones y millones de dólares a programas como lo es el Medicare, como lo es el Medicaid, programas esenciales para muchas personas. Así que dejemos en claro esto desde el principio. Rick Scott es un personaje nefasto. Además de todo esto, la idea de que dentro del movimiento MAGA todo está en armonía es simplemente ridículo, ¿no? Si alguien tiene que salir a defender esto con tanta desesperación, es porque la crisis es real. El enojo dentro del Partido Republicano contra Elon Musk, contra el propio Trump, es cada vez mayor. Pero a ver, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Que los republicanos, amigos, han vendido su alma. No pueden enfrentarlo. Rick Scott no lo hará. Nosotros sí podemos. Nosotros podemos exponer la verdad de cómo estos personajes son patéticos, cómo son cobardes en cada una de sus acciones. Y eso, amigos, es exactamente lo que tenemos que seguir haciendo todos los días en este canal. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme hasta el final. Como siempre, si me quieren apoyar, regálame un like, comparte el video con tus amigos y suscríbete a Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.